following is a presentation of TFNN. Now, the author of Mastering Probability, Steve Rhodes.
Good morning. Oh, where'd that come from? Good morning, all you money masters and treasure hunters. Welcome to the April 25th, terrific Thursday edition of today's Opening Bell on the Trader's Edge. I'm your host, Steve Rhodes, and folks, I absolutely treasure your presence here today. My outcome, as always, is to help you to become a better money master and to provide you with the tools that each of us need in order to lead an inspired life. Because leading an inspired life, folks, really, that is what it's all about. So let's go take a look at one of our tools. This is the tool that we call Your Life Becomes What You Think. You know, thought and the act of thinking is one of the greatest powers that each of us possess. And like most powers, it can be used both positively and negatively. Question, are you a more positive or negative individual when it comes to your thinking? Something to think about. Now, I like to say that life is a mirror, and life will reflect back to us what it is that we think. My favorite expression about mirrors is this: turn your mirrors into windows. It means look in the mirror, see the person you want to become. I say become because we are always improving, and then take what kind of action? Dave had it right. Take massive action and jump through that mirror. Turn your mirrors into windows, folks. We can and we do control our thoughts. You know, Thomas Edison once was quoted as saying it's remarkable to what lengths people will go to avoid thought. That's not true with each of us out here, all the tigers, tigresses. We are always thinking. Thomas Edison, he touched each of our lives. Now, when it comes to thought, each of us typically use an expression when something goes off in our head or when we solve a problem. I hope that it happens during the day, each day. For some of you out there, all of you out there, when you're listening in at TFNN.com, maybe it's a trading idea, maybe it's a new technical indicator, whatever it might be. We're hoping that there's thousands of those Edison light bulbs that go off in your head. Now, Edison, he was the fourth most prolific inventor, 1,093 U.S. patents. And Edison, he invented the stock ticker. Most folks don't know that. We all should say thank you to Thomas Edison for that. Founded General Electric amongst other fine companies. I think that Edison thought positive thoughts, and each of us as well should think positive thoughts too, because our life becomes what we think. And me? I think you are absolutely amazing, folks. Let's go take a look at these amazing markets here right now. We've got the Dow futures up 43 points, trading at 14,658. S&P futures up 6 3/4 points, trading out at 1580. Nasdaq futures up 15, out at 2839. Russell 2000 futures up 4 points, out at 935. King dollar back 43 ticks, trading at 82.59. Euro futures are up a bit. Biggest move out here is in the Great British Pound. We'll go take a look at that. That is off to the moon here, completing a 1-to-1, A to B equals CD this morning. We'll take a look at that. You've got gold trading up $24, out at $14.48. Silver up 72 cents. That's up 3% this morning, trading at $23.55. Hi-ho silver playing a little giddy up, a catch up to gold out here. Light sweet crude flat this morning. It's off 6 pennies. Natural gas up 2 ticks. We've got over the, if we take a look at what's going on across the pond here, over in Europe right now, we've got the DAX is up 22 points, and the FTSE is flat, down 2. Over in Asia last night, the Shanghai was off 20 points, the Hang Seng up 218, 1% out there, and the Nikkei up 0.6%, up 82 points at 13,926. Our call-in number, you know it, 877-927-6648. Would love to hear from you. Let's begin by taking a look at and it's earnings all over the place, so we'll take a look at those. First, let's just start off by taking a look at the daily futures contracts here. If you are listening in on the radio or your mobile device at tfnn.mobi, thank you so much for doing that. Remember, this show will stream live to you on your smartphone device. Just go to the homepage of tfnn.com. Over on the right-hand side, you'll see that little button with 3 smartphones. Click on that. This show will stream live. And, of course, this show is archived on Channel 9. Let's start off by taking a look at the S&P futures contract. Right now, trading out at 1580.50. We know that we did get a rejection of that 1586.75. That happens to be the actual October 11, 2007 swing point high. Got a rejection of that right here back on April the 12th. Looks like the futures contracts want to try to trade up to that level one more time. 1586.75, that's a number that is up about 6.5 points from where we are trading now. It has already tagged the April 11th swing point, at least the low there, which is 1580.75. We'll see if it can make its way all the way up to the top. It looks like that is what it wants to do here. Let's go take a look at the Dow futures. Dow futures right now, they are weaker than the S&P futures. If we take a look at this swing point high from April 11th, the low of that is actually 14,721, has not made its way up into that. If we take a look at retracements here from high to low, from that April 11th high, which came in at 14,823, down to the low that was put in here. Looks like that might have been Monday, down at the 14,394 level. What you can see is the Dow futures have really, they're just hanging out around that 0.618 retracement, right around the 14,659. Next stop would be 14,731. That's a 0.786 retracement, and that would take you into the low of the April 11th swing point high. I hope that makes sense. It does to me, especially if you're looking at it. Let's go take a look at the NASDAQ futures. NASDAQ futures here looks like they want to make another run for that swing point from September the 21st. The low out there is 28.52 That level has acted as a resistance line. We'll see if it continues to act as a resistance line. Right now, NASDAQ futures trading in between that low, 28.52 and maybe a little bit of change, and then all the way down the bottom of this little consolidation right now happens to be the top of the January 2nd swing point high. It's not even really a swing point. It gapped up there. That January 2nd high is 20. It's really January 2nd. Yeah, January 2nd high right now, which is 27.4275. Let's go take a look at the Russell 2000. Let's round this off. Then we'll go take a look at some of these stocks here that are popping and dropping in the pre-market. Russell 2000, the weak link in the chain, right now trying to take on the downdraft from last Monday, April the 15th. That high out there is 939.80. So far today, you can see that the Russell 2000 has made its way up above that 0.618 level. 0.786 is 938.10. 938.10 says, well, I might as well go tag 939.80. That is the top of the April 15th downdraft out there. Let's go take a look at, and it is it is full moon Thursday out there. So I had a couple of emails, people asking me about the importance of the full moons and new moons. It's actually a full moon lunar eclipse combination. So I went ahead and I've got a tool where I can just simply go ahead and apply whatever aspect, whatever lunar phase to the chart. So we'll take a look at that during the after we come back from the first break. We still got 4 minutes here, but we will go take a look at the full moon, new moon, lunar combinations out there and see what kind of relevance, if any, they have on the market. But let's go take a look at earnings out here. As we take a look at earnings, we're going to go over to some charts. We're going to first start off with Triple M, 3M, out with earnings just a while ago. 3M, they closed at 107.87. Last trade fired off at 104.02, down 3.5%. Of course, I've got to find the 3M chart out here, but we've got a couple of number of the Dow stocks here that are just truly disappointing. Okay, where is she? 3M. Okay, it's not out here. How about that? So I've got to put it up. Oh, I remember. Accidentally deleted a bunch of work. Boy, you hate that when that happens, don't you? Well, let's go take a look at 3M here right now. 3M, the swing point low on this came in. Now you can see 3M is up towards its highs. The high actually came in April 11th. I'll go ahead and put this on a monthly chart for you just for a moment, just to give you a feel of where we're at. As you can see, 3M at all-time highs out here. Now let's go ahead and bring this back to a daily chart. So the all-time high being formed right out here on April the 11th, made a move up there with 2.1 million shares, started to back off, made a swing point low as it backed off. That swing point low came in on April the 18th. down with 3 million shares, and it was really testing the session with 2.5 million shares from April the 5th as the market was moving down. It was testing that area. The low of that price point is 104.28. Right now, you've got 3M trading out at 104.01. 104.01. So it is trading below this area. I think that what we're going to end up seeing here today in 3M, we're going to see another Dow stock with volume off of the top, volume off of the highs. We'll just have to see how it trades, but if it trades like anything like Procter and Gamble out there, that's what we'll see. So where will 3M head to? Well, all you've got to do is come back, take a look at these high-volume bars that are out here. High-volume bar here in 3M will take you right to the trading session of September 21st, 2012. That high, $94.07. Now, if you go over to the right-hand side of the chart, the interesting thing is, as you take a look at that high-volume bar, that also happens to be the bottom of the breakout session from January 2nd. That low is actually 93.96. So where is 3M headed to? If it gets volume off of the highs today, it's headed down to January 2nd, 2013. That's where the markets want to move to. They want to move to there, or they want to at least move to the 200-day moving average. I believe they want to all move down and come back to that breakout session of December 31st, January 2nd out there. If you take a look at 3M and you come off of the most recent swing point low from November the 16th out here, so we take a look at that, we'll see that that's right at the just below the 0.618 retracement level. Interestingly enough, the low of December 31st is a 0.786 retracement. 91.44 is the number, and the actual low of December 31st is 91.40. That is where the markets also want to head to. May not be today, may not be tomorrow, but it is in the near-term future. 877-927-6648. We'll be right back.
Who says you can't take it with you? TFNN says you can. With your mobile device and TFNN's live radio streams, TFNN has put it all in the palm of your hands. No special apps to download. No subscription fees for live radio or TigerTV streams. We say you can.
Now let's go over to the dollar, because the dollar is going to be the generator. It is the generator of basically higher dollar, lower market. And what the dollar has done, and this whole uptrend, folks, has just gone sideways. The way it works, folks, is this.
We say you can. The Tiger Financial News Network. Smart investors and professional traders know you can. TFNN.com. Educating investors. With the launch of Tiger TV, TFNN has brought our programming to the next level. With Tiger TV, you can gain access to each host's charts and computer screens as they host their daily stock program. Whether it's Tom O'Brien, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, David White, Larry Pezzamento, Victor Jones, or Terrell Martin, you can catch all of our technicians hosting their programs live and archived on Tiger TV for your viewing pleasure 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. If you haven't checked out Tiger TV, then visit TFNN.com and see what you're missing.
McEwen Mining is a high-growth, mid-tier producer in the Americas with a market capitalization of $1 billion. Experienced mining executive Rob McEwen, as chairman, CEO, and president, owns 25% of the outstanding shares of McEwen Mining and has put in place an ambitious business plan with the goal of qualifying for inclusion in the S&P 500 by 2015. With $70 million in cash and liquid assets as of the end of 2012 and completely debt-free, McEwen Mining is poised for growth. Production in 2013 is forecasted to grow at 24%, reaching 130,000 gold equivalent ounces. And over the next 3 years, McEwen Mining projects that their production will increase to 290,000 gold equivalent ounces, almost a threefold increase from last year's totals. If you'd like to find out more about McEwen Mining, click on their banner on the front page of TFNN.com or check them out on the NYSE or TSX under the symbol MUX.
Are you looking for a precision edge in the market? Something that can stack the odds in your favor? Then look into Larry Pesavento's new trading newsletter, Patterns, Profits, and Peace of Mind. In each weekly issue, Larry explains what's going to happen in the markets based on the pattern he sees developing and gives you actionable trade ideas based on those patterns. Plus, you'll get his detailed analysis on a variety of markets and sectors, including stocks, treasury bonds, the gold market, oil, the dollar, the forex market, and more. And you'll get the Technical Corner segment, which is a short but powerful weekly training session on trading. You'll get access to all the patterns Larry is seeing in the markets, plus the Astro Harmonics and powerful Bradley stock market model that Larry utilizes for less than $5 a day. An extremely potent combination that will give you just the edge you've been looking for. Try Patterns, Profits, and Peace of Mind absolutely free for 2 weeks. Go to tfnn.com and click on the free trial link at the top of the page. That's an $85 value, yours free when you register right now. Get Larry's Patterns, Profits, and Peace of Mind and get the edge you've been looking for.
Many of our new listeners have heard about the Tiger's Den, but wondered, what exactly is it? The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of your favorite TFNN shows, plus see all the charts as they happen live during those shows, and have access to all those charts. You can test drive the Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days. It will greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets. Details on the Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com. Steve takes your phone calls now. Toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044.
Welcome back, folks. So we got stocks that are popping and dropping. Let's go take a look at one that is popping, the leader in the clubhouse dollar-wise on the way up. Akamai Technology, AKAM, is the ticker symbol. Out with a net loss after the bell last night, $11.9 million versus $9.6. So their loss was widening out there, but the market is digging it. Revenues here, Q1 revenues $368 versus $319 million. So they must be guiding up here. Right now, Akamai, they closed at $36.09. Their last trade fired off at $42.50. So let's take a look at Akamai, see what it has done recently and where it is trading into. Most recently, we saw a gap down here back on February 7th. Gaps down with 27 million shares out there. Gets down to a low of 33.55. We actually see a little bit lower low in a big bullish engulfing candle on the 22nd of April out there. That candle session on April 22nd was volume of 3.7 million shares to the downside. So that was a test of the gap down on February 7th of that downdraft. It also was a test of a move up in Akamai. That was a move up on July 26, 2012 with 13 million shares. So that 13 million share move up, that was a breakout session. That held this April 22nd level. Now it's trading up at 42.50. Where's 42.50 take you to? Well, it takes you to the January 2nd, 2013 highs. 42.50 is what it is trading at there. Last trade fired off at 42.45. But not so fast, folks. If we go ahead and we pull this back to the left-hand side, what we'll see that it's really going to likely trade into and run into some significant resistance out here is the downdraft that actually took place on February the 10th. Down with 42 million shares out there. In that case there, it gapped down to a low of 39.90 that trading session. The prior trading session, the low of it was 47.83. The high was 49.38. But we can see here is Akamai Technology moved up just a bit after that big down thrust with volume, moved up just a bit into the February 16th level, and it got up to 43.58. So 43.50, it's trading at 42.48 right now. Expect that to be the real resistance zone here for Akamai. Hey, if it powers through that, that will tell you something. But it looks to me like we'll see this thing probably hold those levels here and most likely not break out. We'll see what the volume is during the trading session between now, certainly, and 11 o'clock. That is Akamai. That is up to the upside this morning. Now, let's go take a look at this. It is full moon Thursday out here. Full moon lunar eclipse Thursday. You can see here we're taking a look at the S&P 500 chart. If we take a look at the most recent full moon lunar, cycle that came in. That was on November 28th, 2012. We had a new moon solar eclipse that came in on November the 13th. That really was not a low, not a high, not a nothing, if you will. Their low was actually made back on November 16th, as you know. On November 28th, though, the market most certainly, what it did was on November 28th, came back and tested that hurricane pattern. That is his 4-candle session on November 16th. The top of that session on November 19th, where the market truly broke out, was 1386.89. On the 28th, came back, tagged that area, and then just simply took off. And and it's been traveling to the outer limits of space ever since then. So that was the last one. Let's keep going back here. If we take a look at June 4th, how about that? The June 4th low that came in, June 4th. Now, this was as the market was moving down into it. That actually was the low. That was the next previous time where we saw that 4-candle hurricane pattern that is out there. That was on a previous full moon lunar. Let's go back a little bit further. The one prior to that was December the 10th. On December the 10th out here, certainly not making a low, maybe just a short-term high out here. The market made a little bit of a lower low December 19th before it took off. So you can't really say that that was a new moon out there. How about new moon? No, that was a full moon. My apologies. Full moon lunar. So you can't really say that one had much of a impact. Let's keep going back here. During the time period between June 1st and July 1st, we had a nice big combo out here. June the 1st, which really you could see there was a nice down thrust here. That was a new moon solar eclipse combination. We then had a full moon lunar eclipse combination came in on June the 15th. The actual low was made on June the 16th. Moves up into July 1st. As it moves up into July 1st, all it was doing was moving back into the swing point high for May 2nd. Sell in May, how about that? As well as into that little down thrust from June the 1st. So today, that goes from June 1st to July 1st. Well, take a look at this, folks. We're now in a cycle. April 25th today is a full moon lunar eclipse. May 10th, a new moon solar eclipse. May 25th, a full moon lunar eclipse. How about that? A back-to-back-to-back, just like we were looking at back in June through July of 2011. We'll be right back, folks.
In quiet markets, investors search for new trading opportunities. We'd like to introduce you to a new product that provides opportunities even in flat markets. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a new and innovative Chicago-based exchange registered with the Commodity Futures Trading Commission, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their trading platform. Nadex never charges a fee to use their platform, which even includes real-time charts and full customization capability. Nadex's unique short-term binary options allow traders and investors to capitalize on strategies even when the underlying markets are quiet. Nadex's innovation has allowed them to come up with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com, or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors. Tom O'Brien's daily newsletter, Market Insights, gives you Tom's daily commentary on the broad market, including the Dow, NASDAQ, and S&P, plus specific trade recommendations. With Market Insights, nothing is left to guessing. With the market at record levels, volatility is here, and now is a perfect time to take advantage of a 2-week free trial to Tom O'Brien's daily newsletter, Market Insights. As recently as March 26th, Tom advised his subscribers to liquidate their 4 short-term equity holdings, closing out all 4 positions for a combined 15.9% profit. And on April 1st, Tom advised his clients to sell their longer-term position in AIG warrants, locking in more than a 40% profit in just that one trade. If you'd like to see the kind of newsletter Tom O'Brien sends out to his subscribers each morning, then sign up for your 2-week free trial to Market Insights today by visiting the front page of TFNN.com.
No matter where you listen to TFNN programming, we want you to know you can always access your favorite shows on demand through TFNN.com. TFNN airs live programming every market day from 9 a.m. till 6 p.m. Eastern, and you can view each program by accessing TigerTV through our homepage. We even have an easy link for all mobile devices, including iPhones and iPads, located at the top right-hand corner of the TFNN homepage. You can use your smartphone to view Tiger TV, but if you don't have a mobile connection that can keep up with streaming live video, then you can simply visit tfnn.mobi in the browser of your smartphone for live streaming audio of all of our programs. The mission of TFNN is to educate our audience directly and interactively through our interactive website and radio call and talk shows. TFNN is able to teach all levels of investors the technical skills needed to trade in today's marketplace. In order to get the best information possible, TFNN has assembled the most respected financial minds in the country to provide the most current news and comprehensive advice available. TFNN.com. Educating investors.
Daryl Martin coined the phrase diagnostic trading, and we're happy to announce that his diagnostic box spread analyzer has finally been released. The Diagnostic Box Spread Analyzer helps you easily identify the best box spreads on Nadex in seconds, plus you receive access to the diagnostic deviation levels, as well as step-by-step training videos teaching you how to trade Nadex spreads so you can quickly master the mechanics of this simple yet powerful trading instrument. By pulling live data from the Nadex exchange, the Diagnostic Box Spread Analyzer does all the math for you, calculating risk, reward potential, distance to break even for both outright spreads and spreads used to hedge the underlying market. Visit the front page of TFNN.com today to get your 2-week free trial to Daryl Martin's Diagnostic Box Spread Analyzer and gain access to the valuable information it can provide when trading the Nadex box spreads.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
To the races. We got the Dow up 3 points right now, trading out at 14,680. S&P up 4 out at 1583. Composite up 15, led by Apple. We got Apple up $8 right now. Composite trading out at 32.84. Russell 2000 up 3 points out at 9.37. Google up $1. Microsoft back 7 ticks. Intel off 2 pennies. Cisco up 10 cents. Leading the charge, the upside, is Apple up $7 and change right now. F5 Networks out with earnings as well. They're up a nice, boy, that just changed positions. They're up 8%, up $6.32. As we take a look at F5s, they reported net income of $63.4 million versus $68.6. Revenues of $350 versus $339. Biogen, BIIB, just kind of snuck in, took over second place. They're up $7.85, up 3.6%. Biogen raising their guidance. Let's see here. Revenues of $1.4 billion versus $1.29 billion. Earnings per share $1.97 versus $1.40 out there. And net income $426 versus $302. You've got Open Text. OTEX is the ticker symbol. They're up 7% here this morning. That's up $4 and change. They had net income of $25.8 versus $34.8 million. Revenues $337 versus $292. Angie's List, ANGI, up 17% this morning, up $3 and change. They had a Q1 loss per share of 14 cents versus a loss of 24 cents a year ago. Hip, hip, hooray. Let's see here. Actually, I've never used Angie's List, so I can't tell you. I don't have the other numbers on it. Western Digital, they were out with numbers. WDC is the ticker symbol. They're up a nice 7% here this morning. That's up $3.74. They did net income of $391 million versus $483, and $3.8 billion in revenues versus $3. Carbo Ceramics, CRR. They've got a conference call scheduled for later today, but they are down and down hard. 16% to the downside, off $14 and change. Intuit, because tax season is over. INTU down 12.5% this morning. They posted revenues, operating income of $1.26 billion. Where is it? How about that? That disappeared. Revenue of Well, forget that. They're just giving me guidance results out here. In any event, they are down hard. Mellonix Technologies, MLNX, also down this morning, off 8%. That's down $5. Their Q1 revenue was $83 million versus $88 million from the prior year. Profit 8.46 versus 12.45. They're getting a little hammered out here. Citrix Systems, CTXS, off 6% this morning. Let's see here. They missed numbers? Where are their numbers? $673 million versus $589. That was on the revenue number. And net income, $60 million versus $68 from the prior year. Tractor Supply, TSCO, off 3.5%, off $4. Tractor Supply out with numbers as well. Their numbers go like this: net sales of $1.09 billion versus $1.02, and income of $44 million versus $40. Let's begin by taking a look at some of these stock charts here for those that are popping and dropping. How about Intuit? Let's start with Intuit. Right now we can see in the first 7 minutes of trading, down with about 2.5 million shares. That's going to run into a couple of areas. Number one, this had a downdraft here back on April 20th. That had 13 million shares. So you're coming into that area with volume. Intuit actually traded a bit lower, coming down into the May 18th level. Looks like that's where it is headed, right around May 18th, May 21st out there, right around the range of 53.38. It's trading right now at 56.09, coming down there with volume. Let me put this on a weekly chart out here. As we take a look at a weekly chart, if it breaks through that area, meaning 53.38, this thing will head probably all the way back down to this high-volume session from September the 16th, 2011, right around the 49.56 mark. Again, it's trading at $56 right now. Let's go take a look at Carbo Ceramics, CRR out here. Let's go see what that is doing. Well, that's the leader in the clubhouse, off 14%, and moving down with volume here. So let's go see what this is trading into as we pull this back. It's got a, boy, this thing here doesn't look that great. Give me a moment here to put this stock chart up on the screen. Carbo Ceramics, last time that this broke out was back here on October 25th. That broke out with 2 million shares. It's gapping down this morning with 353,000 shares in the first 9 minutes of trading. Looks like that is where Carbo Ceramics is headed back to. The breakout session actually is October 24th, 2012. That low, 60.33. You're going to want to really be paying attention to the volume. This thing here had some wide price spread, accelerated volume back in July of 2012, July 26th. That traded down with 2.7 million shares. Let's put this on a weekly chart as well, see if there's anything that sticks out to us. Carbo Ceramics here. Nothing that sticks out other than a large A to B equals CD down that this thing is. Looks like it is making here. This is the weekly chart we're looking at. Let me erase a couple of things off my screen. We'll see where this is at in the AB equals CD down stage here. So the 1-to-1 took it to 69.44. We can see it got down to the 60.74-ish range. 1-to-1.272 says about $44.03. That's if it breaks through $60.33. But that looks like where Carbo Ceramics is headed to. Let's go take a look at Biogen. That has been most certainly a rocket ship out here. BIB is the ticker symbol. That looks like that's shooting for its most recent swing point high. This is up at its highs, most certainly. The high out here was put in just a few trading sessions ago, April 23rd. 1.9 million shares up there. Actually had moved up in on April 22nd with 2.6 million shares. So far this morning, 208,000 shares in the first 10 minutes of trading. So should have no problem with regard to taking on the volume of April 23rd. That's a swing point high. 217.80 is where it's headed to, and perhaps beyond. It's trading right now at 215. Let's go take a look at F5 Networks. That's up about 11% this morning. That is number 2 in the clubhouse on the way up. FFIV is the ticker symbol now. F5 Networks just moving into a gap, a downdraft that this had back here on April the 5th. So April the 5th, we know we saw a downdraft inside the marketplace, and F5 certainly was one of those stocks that was involved in that big downdraft day. 12 million shares. So far today on the upthrust here, we're looking at 745,000 shares, so not too bad for 11 minutes of trading. Expect this, if it continues to move move higher to run into resistance down at the bottom of the April 4th candle. That would be 89.69. That's about $10 up from where it is trading here right now. Certainly working off a sold condition. Let's put this on a weekly chart. Take a quick peek here at the weekly chart. So on the weekly chart, what we can see here is the support area, this little horizontal support area going really all the way back. It's been trading in relatively a consolidation range. The highs of the, I guess if we were really to look at the highs of the consolidation, although it hasn't been up here for a while, since April, almost a year now, would be up at the 139 level. More likely, looks like this may have more to the downside from a testing standpoint, and that would go ahead and bring it all the way back down to the lows of August the 19th. Out here. This will run into, so here's the real resistance. So the resistance line that it's really running into right now is this high volume. Here's volume off of the highs inside a equity, and that goes back to F5 Networks. This is on the weekly chart, and you can see the high volume bar here happens to take you back to January 21st, 2011. Volume off of the highs. What does it do? The market tries to make a retrace before it goes ahead and heads lower. That's exactly really what we're looking at inside our markets as well. So, we've got the markets moving up on light volume, and after having some volume off of the highs out there. I think that the earnings reports or the results of what we're seeing in some of these volume off the highs out here are really sending big signals to us as to what is about to come. If we take a look at Procter & Gamble not having any follow through to the upside, that's for sure. It looks like more follow through to the downside after creating that island reversal yesterday and doing it with massive volume out there. That says that Procter & Gamble wants to head down to that January 25th level at least. That's the last high volume bar out here, 73.25 to 71.75. And PG, Procter & Gamble. Let's take a look here at Mellonix Technologies. That is trading to the downside this morning. MLNX is the ticker symbol. Mellonix off about 12.5%, down $7 and change. Looks like some pretty decent volume so far. So let's go see what this is headed to. Mellonix, if we take a look at volume off of highs here, you got another example that took place in Mellonix on September the 10th as this equity. First time that you really saw any institutional selling inside this equity. This equity here, I'm talking about going all the way back to, let's just go back to a reasonable time frame where it broke out. So let me just make this chart here a little bit easier for you to read. Well, I can always go back to the right-hand side. So Mellonix Technologies, folks, breaks out with accelerated volume, wide price spread, super wide price spread on April 19th. Does it with 5.2 million shares. All the other volume bars that you really see up here, it breaks out again on July 19th, 6.3 million shares. And the very first time that you see any kind of institutional selling here happens to occur on September the 10th, 2012. Moves down, gaps down with 6.2 million shares. This equity goes back up, tests the breakout area. That breakout session from September 7th had 2.9 million shares. As that area was being tested, it was on light volume, 1.5 million shares, and then that was it. You did one more test of that area. That was on October 4th with 1 million shares. And then she let loose one more time, some more institutional selling. That was on October the 18th, 7 million shares to the downside. You get more institutional selling, a third gap down here. Well, it's not an exhaustion gap by any stretch of the imagination. Why? Because it is smaller than those first two gaps out here. I'm talking about the day of January the 3rd out there. So as the markets were moving up, on January 2nd, Mellonix Technologies was not participating in that move. That was also signaling to you, well, moves down with 8.2 million shares. You have this wide price spread day here. Not wide price spread. A narrow price spread, but big volume day on January 24th. Is that a buyer or a seller out here? Well, if they are a buyer, then they're going to be accumulating more here today. But this will come back, and this will certainly test the low of that trading session, which is 48.66. If we put this on a weekly chart, let's go see on a weekly chart. Well, I'd like to put on a weekly chart. There we go. Well, that didn't work very well. Let me come back here to Earnings Central and put this on a weekly chart. Time weekly. That was a fast finger problem. So if we take a look at where this really broke out from, so Mellonix Technologies certainly wants to come back and at least test the April 20th, 2012 level, 41.02. You can see it's traveling with inside that swing point. It's the reason why you want to make sure that when you're taking a look at any stock, always go up a level, go down a level, just to give you a view. So it doesn't matter if if you trade intraday, you trade on a 30-minute chart, make sure you go down to the 10-minute chart, let's say, and up to the 60 or daily chart, I would suggest, just to get an idea. If you take a look at a daily equity, go up to the weekly chart. If the weekly chart says, you should go take a look at the monthly chart, then do so. In this case here, what Melnick's technology is telling us is trading inside the swing point or the breakout area from April the 20th. As long as you're inside a swing point, you know the story. You might as well go test it. In this case here, it's moving to the downside. That says 41.02. What a shame for anybody that was in this equity here back in September 2012, rode it up to 120, and wasn't really paying attention to that first volume spike off of the high out there that took place on September 14th, especially when it had a few chances as it moved to the upside here. This thing has a gap down that only has been tested from the week of December 21st, has not been closed. So that is really your resistance level on this equity is $64.09 on the weekly chart. If, in fact, Melnick's cannot hold April 20th's low, 41.02, as it gets down there, it'll come all the way back to $15, anywhere between $15 and $24 out there. That is on Melnick's, MLNX out there. Let's go take a look at, let's see, what else? I want to look at Safeway Inc., SWY. That is a large percentage pop to the downside. Their ticker symbol here is, and then we'll go back and take a look at 3M. SWY out here. So moving down, how about that? Moving down, gapping off of the high here. Probably going to have some decent volume, but this is going to move down into, if it's not already, it's already testing the last breakout area. So Safeway makes a high yesterday with 7 million shares. So far, it's already traded almost 3 million shares, and that 3 million shares is coming into this last sign of strength here on February 21st. It has 34 million shares. We'll see. It's trading inside that bar. It is moving down quickly, so it's going to get down to $20.83. It's trading at $23.90 right now. We'll see if those bulls still want to keep this in place. That is on Safeway Technology. I do want to take a look at 3M out here because we know we got IBM with volume to the downside, Procter & Gamble volume to the downside, General Electric volume to the downside. Let's go take a look at 3M out here because it is also at its, I believe it was at its all-time highs as well. Yeah, I'm sure that it was. Volume so far, this is volume off the top, big time. Already today, 2 million shares. Remember, this made a high back here with 2 million shares on April the 11th. Yesterday it was up with 3.2 million shares. So now you're starting to see some signatures out here, folks. Dow's off 4, S&P is up 3. We'll be right back.
You've always taken the long view when it comes to investing, but what if there's an opportunity right under your nose? What if you could be more responsive to market trends to seek to boost your portfolio performance right now while seeking to reduce your overall risk? At Direction Funds, we connect investors with alternative strategies that seek to maximize their returns. Smart investors deserve smart alternatives. Find yours at directionfunds.com. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risk, charges, and expenses of Direction Funds carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction Funds. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact the Direction Funds at 800-851-0511. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. Investing in index funds may be more volatile than investing in broadly diversified funds. Distributed by Rafferty Capital Markets, LLC. David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
Recently, Basil Chapman has had some outstanding trades in his newsletter, The Opening Call. Each morning by 9 a.m., Basil uploads his newsletter to the TFNN servers so that his subscribers can access his expert trading advice. Basil gives his take on the direction of key indices and updates any active trades that his subscribers are currently in. Just recently, Basil's subscribers closed out a short position in Chipotle Mexican Grill, CMG, for more than an $86 profit per share, over a 20% gain in just one position. If you'd like to try out Basil Chapman's newsletter, The Opening Call, then visit the front page of TFNN.com and click Trading Newsletters. There you'll find Basil's newsletter, The Opening Call, where you can request a free sample copy. Also, don't miss Basil's program, The Tiger Technicians Hour, Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. Eastern, on TFNN.
Tom O'Brien's weekly newsletter, The Gold Report, has helped subscribers for over 10 years navigate the high-risk world of exploring and producing gold companies. And now's a great time to sign up for a free month-long trial to see the kind of insight that Tom delivers for his subscribers on a weekly basis. Every Monday, Tom O'Brien issues a quick update on the metal market, giving you his take on the HUI, XAU, GLD, dollar, bonds, and much more. Tom follows Monday's update with a full gold report, which is delivered to subscribers Tuesday afternoon with detailed coverage of 24 separate gold or metal stocks, as well as another 10 to 15 stocks that he lets you know are on his potential watch list. Get your month-long free trial to the Gold Report today by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Don't spend another year navigating the metal markets on your own. Act early in 2013 and make the most of your gold and metal market investments.
Catch the Money Masters as they teach you the art of mastering money when it comes to trading and investing. Next on TFNN.
Welcome back, folks. The Dow right now up 10 points, trading at 14,686. S&P is up 5, out at trading at 1583, and a little bit of change. Apple is up $5 right now. Let's take a look in the currency commodity markets here. We've got the Euro 30-minute chart here. Made a fairly nice move this morning, getting up to the price point where it ran into its last downdraft. That last downdraft really began back here at 3:30 in the morning on April the 23rd. Got up to that level, didn't like it, got into the overbought condition, and now is headed lower. If we take a look at retracements coming off of the swing point low here from 4:30 in the morning on April the 24th, all the way up to the high put in as we came, just before we came on the air at 8:30 this morning, down below the .382 retracement, headed to 1.3006. More likely, though, we'll move down and test that swing point from 4:30 a.m. yesterday. That swing point high is 1.2992. If we go take a look at the pound, that was on the 30-minute chart we were looking at. Let's take a look at a daily chart here on the pound. The pound moving up strong, wide price spread. We know the pound here had gotten up over that old support level, came off the bottom here with a nice hammer, nice bullish engulfing, and then wide price spread, so it gave you really everything that you needed. I refer to my hurricane pattern. Well, it was a hurricane pattern here as well, just happened to be a 5-day session, so really gave you everything that it was putting in a relatively solid bottom here. And once it got up into that .382, that dead cat bounce level, what it did was it came back and it tested the old, what was first the old support line, which became resistance. That old support line took us all the way back into the time frame of September 7, 2010. So a really strong area of support. When it was broken, that became an area of resistance. Once we broke through that then came back to retest it as an area of support. That's in essence what the Great British Pound did from April the 17th through early this morning. Now it's formed that 1-to-1, A to B equals CD. It's up above the 0.382. We should see the pound make a move all the way up to 1.5764 out here. So it's got quite a ways to go. That would be nothing more than, quite frankly, setting up a Gartley sell pattern inside the Great British Pound. But one day at a time, nice wide price spread that we see here, neither overbought nor oversold, so it most certainly has room to run. If we take a look at the King U.S. dollar index here, we've got that's the euro I've got on my chart. That's the daily chart. Let's come back and take a look at the King here. Come on, button. There we go. If we take a look at the U.S. dollar index, trading right now at about 82.75. This is the weekly chart that we are looking at here. It's just simply building energy to go ahead and bust out its resistance level. It's been a strong resistance level, just like we were looking at in the Great British Pound here. In the case of the U.S. dollar index, it's the resistance level taking you back to August of 2010. In the pound, it was September of 2010. I believe it was September. And so you can expect the U.S. dollar index, once it gets up above this level, it'll come back and likely test that area before it heads off to the moon. The moon here inside the U.S. dollar index will take you up to the weekly swing point high of June 11th, 2010, $89.10. That is where she wants to head to. Gold here this morning, gold having a nice little pop, trading out at $14.47. It's above the 0.382 retracement, and that's coming off of the little waterfall cascade from April the 9th. That high is $15.90.01. Looks like gold wants to move up to the $14.87 mark. That would be sweet 618. If we take a look at silver here, silver right now, you can see really, even though it's had a nice morning, really not anywhere near as strong as gold. Has not made it up to the 0.382 retracement. It is, folks, it is terrific Thursday. If you're off to start your day, just simply have a fantastic day. And always remember this. You have an amazing power within yourself. That power is so strong it'll create a life of abundance, cure incurable diseases, build billion-dollar businesses, paint magnificent masterpieces, but most of all, folks, create fantastic, loving families. Thanks so much for being a part of the TFNN family, folks. Have a great day. Look forward to seeing you soon.
Let me tell you something, folks. I have people coming up to me saying, I just can't believe the amount of work that Steve does on his newsletter. And I says, I absolutely agree.
That is a recent clip from the Money Masters show that Tom and I do each day at TFNN. My newsletter service, Mastering Probability, is much, much more than a newsletter. Yes, it's outperformed the S&P 500 by 100% during the last 15 months. But more importantly, it's an extraordinary education, a roadmap for your success. And it's yours risk-free for the next 30 days. Just go to the homepage of TFNN.com and click on my name, Steve Rhodes, and then Mastering Probability, because everyone needs a success strategy. For most, it's a competitive edge, the will to win, the drive to overcome any obstacle. Whatever you call it, winners find a way. Find your way to Mastering Probability today, because your journey to extraordinary rewards is just one click away.